Let's look at the second part. Find the Cartesian equation of locus of midpoint of this and this as t varies. Midpoint, what we need is actually just the locus. So part 2, let's do it. Midpoint is, what we need to do is just add both of the x1 and plus x2. Midpoint is x1, x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2, right? So this case here, what we'll get is actually 3. So this case here will be, just do the as per normal. So this is 3 minus 2 cos t plus minus 3 plus, right, 2 yeah, plus minus 3. So you just take this and add with this one, then after which you have got divided by 2 negative tangent t plus 0 divided by 2. Okay, so there you go. This is so the locus just means the governing here. So once we done that, we get negative cosine t. This is negative half t. Alright, so now we need the Cartesian equation. This case here, this is a parametric equation, meaning x, this is my x, this is my x, right? So this is actually x comma y. So in other words, what we have here is actually just x equals to negative cosine square t, y equals to negative half tangent t. Alright, then what we need to do now is just we need to find a formula which relate both of them. So how do we find a formula which relate tangent t and cosine t? There's one particular formula which is, we know we can actually change this to secant, right? So really x actually, okay, let me just do 1 over secant t. Okay, tangent, they are very closely related, so secant t is equals to minus 1 over x. Okay, this is 1. Then tangent t is equals to negative 2. Why do I need this? Actually, there are many ways you can do it. You can draw triangle or whatnot, but here, what we can do is actually just let, we know that 1 plus tangent square t is equals to secant square t. So I'm going to just relate these two, and I'm going to get 1 plus minus 2y square equals to negative 1x square. Okay, so this is 1 over x square, such. So once this is done, I think it's pretty okay. Once done, we're just gonna make y the subject if you want to. So 1 plus square equals to 1 over x square. Okay. Today one as t varies, right? Fine. So this case here, what we can get is actually this is the Cartesian form. You can just leave it like that, it's fine. Or if you do not want to, you could just make y. They never say make y the subject. So 1 over x square minus 1. This will be 4, and after which y square equals to 1 over 4, 1x square minus 1. Alright, so this case here will be y equals to plus minus 1 over 4 if I this subject. It's pretty okay. Now I need to whether y is positive or negative, but you look at y here, the y, this cosine square theta, cosine square theta here, sorry, not the cosine square, is a negative tangent t here, negative tangent t and 0 here. We can just actually see what is this value here. We add that up, will it be a positive number or negative? But this is in the first quadrant, right? So this is actually a negative number. So we should reject the negative one, because when we look at t is actually, this is my y, right? So t is the first quadrant, 0 to pi over 2, meaning to say tangent t in the first quadrant is obviously positive. Okay, it's positive. And once so positive, if you put the negative half, y will be negative, right? So y will be less than 0. So we are getting the negative 1 here. So the equation of the what do you call it, line here, this is very important. we are taking the so this will be just square root 1 minus x squared over x. Okay, now but the problem here is this, I'm not sure how particular they want it to be, because graph here, the x has to be a negative x, because this has to be negative. You see this x here is negative. So when we plot out the, now this is what's going on. This is actually the parametric form here, and you want to find this midpoint between this point and the here. You realize that actually what happens is the y value that we found here is a negative one, which is correct. If we don't take the positive one, will be the one on top, which is not what we want, right? We want the one which is the one below. But when you throw the negative one, actually what happens, there are two curves at play also as well. So actually there's the positive and x negative. So actually what we need here is to make sure that x is negative, right? So let's look at the midpoint is here, right? You can see that as you travel along, the midpoint is between this point and this point, is traveling along here. So as you go down here, right, there is tracing here. Do you see that, the midpoint? So yeah, so this is the locus point. So we're taking the one on the left, not the one on the right. So how do we decide that? We can actually just put x where x is less than 0. Okay, so this is important, but I don't think they want to be so specific. This will be an answer. Yeah, any question or comments, please keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next question.